Saturdays for 2 hours to midnight. This is going to be right up your alley. The Clash of the Titans Tour. Testament. Chuck Billy, Alex Skolnick, co-headlining with Creator and special guest Possessed. Old school, man. All three of them at the world-famous Agora. The show is going down on Tuesday night, October the 1st. First day of Halloween month. AXS.com for all the info. A couple of tickets here for you. Testament, Creator, Possessed this fall. I'll see you there. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
He might have been just a voice man.
He's the man of 1,000 voices.
Greatest voice man that ever lived.
None of which will make you laugh.
But he never took a performance for granted.
Alan Cox.
On 100.7 WMMS.
Yeah, a little Testament for you here on the Buzzard. Love these guys. Brian into Testament at all?
I have no idea.
You know, you really should know these things, Mary.
How can I keep track of the
Anytime I randomly ask you...
530,000 bands that you dummies listen to?
Dummies. Anytime I ask you about a random metal band, you should have your boyfriend's opinion on said band committed to memory. I mean, are you serious about this relationship or not?
I am, but there's so many.
All right.
So many.
Hey, if metal is your thing, man, we do a show here on The Buzzard. It's called 2 Hours to Midnight. A Saturday night, normally around 10 o'clock. I think that Guardians game, though, might push us a little past 10 o'clock. It's a 7:10 pitch. So we'll see what happens. But a lot of good stuff lined up for you for this Saturday night, looking ahead. 2 hours of nothing but metal. I'm your host, along with Corey Roddick and Pat Butler. And we throw in songs we want to play for you, play local music most weeks. I don't know if I'm playing any local music this Saturday, but local music most weeks. And your requests. Playing new stuff from Islander this Saturday. New stuff from Cyanide. Alpha Wolf. Let me get you a good one here. High on Fire. They're great. New Battle Beast. I'll throw some Deftones in, some Pantera. Oh, man, it's going to be good. Going to be a lot of fun. But it's only live. People go, hey, where's the podcast? We don't podcast 2 hours to midnight. So if you're not able to join us Saturday nights right around 10 o'clock, you're going to miss the show. But we always post the playlists. I post those for you. There's a 2 hours to midnight Facebook page and the 2 hours to midnight page at WMMS.com. So if you missed the show, you'll see what we played, and perhaps you can recreate the show in your own home or car or headphones with your own pithy commentary in between. That'd be a fun way to do it. But that'll be Saturday night. Cavs play tomorrow night, still licking their wounds from that big loss, Game 1, Round 2 there against the Celtics. And so they'll play them again tomorrow night and then come back home for Games 3 and 4, Saturday and Monday at the Romo Fijo. On Monday's show, top of the show, I will tell you where you can go out and grab playoff tickets for Monday night. I'll have a bunch of pair for you. We'll send some of you to the east side. We'll send some of you to the west side. And Rob will be out there with tickets.
Guardians just won in the bottom of the 10th.
Hey, there you go. Congratulations. Came from behind. Mm-hmm. So there you go. What, 5-4? Is that what it was?
Yep. They had a home run to tie it up in the bottom of the 9th and then won it in the 10th.
Fantastic.
That's nice.
Oh, congratulations to them.
We like that.
Mm-hmm.
Those stupid Tigers.
In the air, right field slicing down the line and into the corner and gone! David Fry somehow kept it fair, and it leaks out of the yard for a game-tying homer.
Damn! All right, well, there you go. Congratulations. So Guardians take 2 of 3 there. They will head to Chicago to mop the floor with the White Sox. I would love to be... Listen, I'm always a booster for my team. Always a booster. But you also have to face reality. Got to face facts. White Sox are awful, and the Guardians are very, very good. So we'll see what happens. Mary might have really missed out here. I mean, timing is everything.
What did I do?
But, well, no one's fault. Skittles has launched a national campaign where the grand prize is they will pay your rent in a brand new New York City apartment for a year.
That
You already
doesn't mean
have
I
an
can't-
apartment.
I can get a new one for free.
That
Is there a
wouldn't be
rule
very-
that you can't?
Now, it
already live
is
here?
all Skittles decorated, but
Don't
who
care.
cares? Nobody in New York would care, right? It is a $3,500 a month apartment,
Pretty standard.
brand new, and they will pay your rent for a year.
It's a lot of tasting the rainbow.
Sure is. I'll play a little local coverage there in New York.
As New Yorkers, we all know this all too well. Finding an apartment to rent is almost an impossible task.
Yeah, besides sky-high prices, vacancy rates are also at historic lows. But one candy company is hoping to help make it a little easier. Skittles!
Oh.
Offering the opportunity to live in a micro apartment designed with the taste of
I
the
know, look at that, right?
Wait a minute. I
in
can't
Manhattan,
see it, but I want to know how small
a micro apartment
is.
in Manhattan is $3,500 a month.
But what is micro? Does it say like the square footage?
It is a 353 square foot apartment.
I couldn't do that.
Yes, you could for a year, no rent.
Free.
My bedroom is bigger than that right now.
Nevertheless, for a year in Manhattan,
And you have
you
no
could do
roommate.
this,
I guess
right?
that's true.
Of
But look at-
course.
okay, there's no kitchen or bathroom.
Well, no, those always have You'll probably share the bathroom down the hall, and you probably have a hot plate in the
You're
corner.
right, though,
Let's
it
see
is
what they have
free.
to say.
Okay, go ahead.
rainbow in mind. Look at that. And guess what? It's free.
What?
For a year.
Wow.
Yep.
It's a little too colorful. The apartment in Kips Bay on East 27th Street, it's 350 square feet, but it does have its own.
East 27th Street,
I know. I got to figure out where that is.
Kips Bay.
Kips Bay.
Is that Lower East Side?
I don't know.
bathroom, so there's always that. I mean, wouldn't you?
Where do you shower?
Shouldn't it have its own
Is there a
bathroom?
shower? Oh.
Building also comes with a fitness center, laundry, and a roof deck. You can go to skittles.com/littlesliving.
Yeah, it's got the
Kips
kitchen
Bay
right.
isn't bad.
Where's it?
It's
Lower East
the-
Side?
No, it's like directly in the middle, but it's right in the middle.
Okay.
It's south of Manhattan, north of where all the comedy is in the villages.
You should get in on this.
To enter for a chance
Oh, look
to
at
win.
that.
That's cool.
That is
But, you know,
cool.
nobody wants the yellow ones.
I do.
just
That's
kidding.
my favorite one.
Really?
I like the red ones.
I like orange.
Yeah.
What a hot take. This dude goes, nobody wants the yellow Skittles. I've never heard a human being say that.
I always heard that with
No
like
one
banana
wants the-
runs.
Huh?
I like those
yes.
ones too.
Well, you'd always have that kid that would be like, "Oh, I'll take the banana."
That was me.
Yeah.
Yeah. 353 square foot apartment with its own bathroom. Been given a candy-coated facelift by Danny Cleric, an interior
Okay.
designer with more than 2 million followers on TikTok.
This couch, though, that I think is your bed.
So?
So you got to sleep on a couch for a year?
It's probably maybe like a Murphy bed or something.
Your back is going to hurt.
Your steps from the East River, so anytime you want to go swimming, you can,
I do want to experience the rainbow. I'm planning for
You're a
it
few
now.
blocks from the Flatiron Building. There's a Dwayne Reed right there. It's by Gramercy Park. You're in good shape.
Enter here.
For a year.
Mary Santora.
Yep.
Phone number, I won't say.
It's a new building. I think the construction is new. And they figured out the $3,500 by determining that that's what the apartment across the hall costs, $3,500 a month.
Oh, I have to agree that my personal data will be processed by a third party not affiliated with Mars.
Well, yeah, they want your data, but you could only one. This is all data collection.
Entered.
One person's going to get the apartment, but they will have data on hundreds of thousands of people.
Well,
They're launching Skittle Littles, which are some. I love how candy companies now are like, well, what can we do? We've really kind of reach the outer limits of how we can manipulate our product. So then they go, how about big M&Ms? How about small Skittles? They're like, the size they are now is great. The regular standard size has been not a problem for a long time. You can grab a handful of them. You know, nobody wants a handful of big M&Ms. You know, like, oh, this one's like a urinal cake. So Skittle Littles is rolling out. The prize-winning tenant will have access to all of the building's amenities. They will also have the option to pay additional fees for housekeeping and to have their bathrooms stocked with products from Malin and Getz. If you're brand loyal, the approximate retail value of the prize is $85,000. You would also get a $20,000 check to offset your tax liability. So you won't even have to pay taxes on the prize. They'll pay your taxes. You know, you watch game shows and people win a car. They got to pay tax on that car. So a lot of people, they're like, I'll sell the car. Or I don't, you know, could I get the money? That used to be the option. Yeah, game shows back in the day was the money or the car.
I don't think they do that no more.
Yep. I remember when I was a kid, Wheel of Fortune, you used to have to spend your money on the crap in the studio. Anybody remember that on Wheel of Fortune? They go, okay, you got $4,000 left. Okay, I'll have the, I'm pretty sure that was Wheel of Fortune. One of those game shows you had to buy the crap they had in the studio. Okay, let me get that park bench. And obviously it's all overpriced because they want people blowing through their money and, you know, not cleaning out the studio. I'm pretty sure that was Wheel of Fortune way back in the day. After Hours line, people leave us messages there, voicemails. Not everybody's comfy with leaving their info on the iHeartRadio app or a message, so they'll just do it old school. Voicemails, 216-986-8903.
Alan Carlos here. Mary, I grew up in Miami during the cocaine cowboy days. It was normal to see people shot in the middle of the street. You didn't know if it was a Miami Vice episode or real life. When you didn't see the camera, you're like, damn. Yeah. And you kept moving. Now you're in New York. Stop being so sensitive. You're going to see how, I say, 75% of the world lives in big cities. This is the normal life. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to piss you off. It's going to make you talk about the sex issues you have on stage. Because you're going to walk somewhere, you're going to see prostitutes, you're going to be friends with them, you're going to talk to them, hey, how you doing, this and this and this? They're going to tell you something. That's just the way the world runs.
Yeah, Mary, that's the way the world runs.
Sensitive.
You're going to make friends with hookers. And then you're going to get... I love Carlos, but don't be so sensitive about people getting killed near you.
It's like, listen, you see one guy jump between train cars
Yeah.
and bash his face to bloody pieces. Oh, nobody cares, Mayor.
Most people make it through their entire lives without, no matter where they live, without seeing someone get killed.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see my first person get shot until I was in high school. That's a pretty good run. Not everybody gets one.
Yeah.
And then I saw people after that.
Yeah, watching a person jump face first into a moving train car.
Stop being so sensitive.
When you come from Cleveland, Ohio, a little bit of a culture shock.
Or
guys.
anywhere.
Or anywhere.
Right?
Yeah.
People, lifelong New Yorkers are probably not like, that guy just got shot in the face. Whatevs. You know it's a possibility, but I don't think that it makes, it makes people more tense. You go, yeah, you're kind of walking around with your head on a swivel or whatever. But even after people have lived in a major city for a long time, they kind of take their eye off the ball too. You're just like, okay, yeah, something's going to happen. Stop being so sensitive. I love it. Hey, you better toughen up. You better get used to seeing people get murdered in front of you. I just saw a lady eating and drinking an over-caffeinated lemonade. Right here in Miami. Grew up during the cocaine cowboys.
I feel like if
and that's extenuating circumstances, too. Like Miami in the 80s was like overrun with cartel violence, right? It was like Cartagena back then.
I feel like most people grow up with a pretty quiet
Yes.
like upbringing or childhood or even into like early adulthood.
Even if
Unless
you grow
live
up
in, a major
in New
city.
York or Chicago or L.A., you
Yeah.
for the most part, yes. That's a very Fox News opinion of things, right? Like, oh, these cities they're just murders nonstop, and then you go and there's like, oh, there's birds and parks and people jogging and people having coffee and talking and having fun. And yes, when you have that many people collected in a metropolitan area, you think about a city like Tokyo, where it's smaller than Manhattan, but I'm pretty sure there's 32 million people in the city, right? My ex-wife lived in Tokyo for a number of years. She's like, everybody's apartment is small. If they watch American television shows, they cannot believe the palatial, that Skittles apartment in Japan. You'd be like, oh my God.
This says 14 million, and New York City is closer to 9.
Oh, I thought it was like 32
That
million.
was
Maybe
July 2023.
Maybe all of Japan is 32 million. Okay, but Tokyo, like, there's nowhere to go but up. So everybody is just stacked on top of each other. That's why the culture gets weird, because people don't move out from their parents' house, especially guys. They don't go out and meet women, that kind of thing, right? They're buying panties in the vending machines. So, yeah, it was like, it's like Blade Runner over there. I can't convince my wife to go to Tokyo. I would like to go to Tokyo.
I really want to go to Japan.
I'm a big fan of that culture and the whole thing. And but the language barrier is so intense. Like my older daughter speaks Japanese, and I'm like, and even she is like, I would be intimidated to go over there. I would just like to go over, but my wife has zero interest in going.
The guy that gave me that yen for the money, I was asking him about his trip, and he said in Tokyo there's enough people that speak they're not great at English, but they can help you in speak English enough. Like,
well, that's true of everywhere around the world. You know what I mean? Like most people you're going to run into,
especially in a big city like that,
right, can at least point you to someone who speaks English or whatever. But I would like to be able to converse a little bit in their native language. I think that's appreciated. For as much as we bitch and moan over here when people don't speak English, and then people go overseas, they're like, how come nobody speaks English? Because you're in another country, moron. Why don't you speak their language? Because that's usually not the way things work. But yeah, I would very much. I'm watching Tokyo Vice on HBO.
Yeah.
Which is a great show.
Japan and the Swiss Alps are like the two places I actually want to go.
Swiss Alps? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Not the French Alps?
I mean, as long as it's Alpsy.
Well, you really couldn't get, talk about opposite ends of the travel spectrum, right? Tokyo and the Swiss Alps.
One's
now, are these places,
very rural and scenic and beautiful, and then the other one is, a bustling
metropolis. Yeah,
but it just looks so fun.
My mother-in-law, Gwen's mom, goes on these trips with like friends of hers pretty frequently, and they've gone to the Swiss Alps and loved it. Boy, that would be exciting, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. The Swiss. How did you zero in on the Swiss Alps?
My friend went there a few years ago, and just seeing the pictures that she had from her trip just were so gorgeous.
Yeah.
That I was like, that looks amazing. Like, I see a lot of people traveling and, going to beaches and stuff like that. That doesn't really do a lot for me. But that, I was like, I want to see that with my own eyes.
Because the Alps obviously covers a massive part of that part of the world, right? So you could go to the Italian Alps.
Yeah.
You could go to the Slovenian Alps.
Well, she was at the Swiss Alps, and that's the one I want to go to.
Yeah.
Have like a Sound of Music moment where I'm just spinning around in the field.
Is that what you're going to do?
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
Is it going to be The Bills Are Alive with the Sound of Music?
Could be. But
that'd be fun.
That looks fun, and then Tokyo. I had another friend. He went to Tokyo with his girlfriend a few months ago, and he said it was the best experience.
Yeah, because these aren't places you would go by yourself, are they?
No.
You'd want a plus one.
Yeah, I'd probably bring somebody.
Yeah.
But they're also very expensive places to go.
Of course.
Gotta Gotta save up.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take a break here. Our friend Julia Mary is going to join us. She's one of the comedians who act as your tour guide for the Cleveland Funny Bus, which we are starting up Alan Cox Show night again tonight, every Wednesday, May and June. Bill and I alternate weeks hosting, and I'm your inaugural host tonight. It's a lot of fun, and so we'll catch up with Julia here in a bit. I will have those Brit Floyd tickets for you. You want to see Brit Floyd in the Skybox with me on the 19th, Sunday the 19th. It's coming up fast. Jacobs Pavilion. It's going to be a lot of fun. VIP all the way, baby. So we'll do that after the break. 35192 on a text. Also $1,000. Don't forget about that. Next keyword